Welcome to Carbine Analysis, the Trauma Diaries number 20. Just sit back with a glass of sweet tea and let's see how we did, and more importantly, how the bullets performed. This week I'm hunting with Ben, and we've got pigs in two different directions, and we're going to coordinate our hunt with the benefit of Ben flashing a light at me to give me a warning, and then I'm going to shoot when he shoots.
Got a 10-second warning.
Ben's hog goes down. Mine's the one making all the noise, and I'm trying to find it in the high grass. So I've zoomed out looking for it, and there it takes off running, so I'm going to zoom back in again and line up for a second shot. That drops the hog. Now let's take a look at Ben's shot with a 301 mag shooting Norma Whitetail 150 grain sawpoint bullets. He's lined up on the shoulder, quartering way shot. This looks like a really good shot at 80 yards. And of course the hog goes right down. The hog turned out to be a 130 pound boar with no evidence of an exit on the exit side. Tape measure was used to assess the weight. And this was the only decent entry side image showing a fairly large entry wound here. Peeling back the skin, Ben is putting his finger through the hole where the bullet entered the first layer of muscle, and then peeling that back even further, the bullet raked several ribs, 3 in fact, making a huge wound cavity. Flipping over to the other side, the bullet was recovered in the muscle just forward of the shoulder here. So how did the 301 mag Norma Whitetail do? Absolutely great. Look how much it is expanded. The bullet entered the left side behind the shoulder, going through 3 ribs, transiting the thoracic cavity, going through the lungs, passing underneath the spine, breaking a rib on the exit side before stopping in the meat of the shoulder. I had really expected this bullet just to blast right through, but it didn't.
Brass Catcher by Tactical Brass Recovery.
Taking a look at my hog, it also came in at 130 pounds, and it was shot with my Lone Star Armory TX15 multi-purpose carbine enhanced, through which I was shooting Barnes TTSX 100 grain bullets loaded by Druid Hill Armory in the Starline brass that my buddy Denny provided for me. Here at the last second, the hog is turned into me at 125 yards. I don't have a very good view of it because of the grass. I can tell how it's oriented, which is towards me, but I don't have a clear view of it. The shot looks like it's going to go through the shoulder and back towards the right hip. And of course I need to shoot now because the hog is going to run at the sound of Ben's report. The hog goes down with the impact, it's making a lot of noise. I zoom out to look for the hog that's lost somewhere in the vegetation. I see it get up, and here I zoom back in to take the follow-up shot. While this bullet connects, this is an improper lead on a running hog. At this distance, I should be leading it by a lot farther. I should not be aiming anywhere at the hog to take this shot. Fortunately, it was quartered away. It wasn't moving that fast, and I connected on the rear right side. This first shot was interesting, actually passing through the ear twice. There's a close-up of it before continuing on, connecting with the top of the back, going in above the back straps, continuing down along the back straps before taking a dive through a rib into the rearward section of the thoracic cavity. Here with the skin pulled back, you can see the path of the bullet, and my finger is in the hole where the bullet passed through the rib, going internal. We don't know if the bullet exited or ended up in the bowels somewhere. As you can see, there's a large wound on the rear right side that you can see here. In my fingers is the kidney. It has ballistic damage to it. We don't know if that's from the entry of the second bullet, exit of the first bullet, or a combination of the two.
So we're scanning. We have a hole through the ear, some damage here, down the back side, and we have a bullet that's actually exposed. That's how we found it, tail out.
Pretty cool. So while the first bullet broke one rib going in, the second bullet broke one rib coming out. So there isn't a lot I can say about the first bullet because we don't have the bullet recovered and we don't know exactly where it went, and it may have crossed paths with the second bullet that made entry on the rear right side. That second bullet entered the rear abdomen area. There was one large wound May have gone through the kidney, certainly went through the liver, went through the diaphragm, went through the left lung, broke one rib on exiting the thoracic cavity, and became stuck in the skin. It did not expand very much, but it had about 14 inches of penetration. Moving on to the last hog of the night, a big 200-pound boar.
3, 2, 1.
And the hog goes right down. Now here's the view from Ben's rifle.
I'm gonna go for a headshot.
He said he's going for a headshot, so I know that I'm going to be taking a secondary position. I'm going to shoot it through the shoulder.
Shoot ready?
You're ready.
3, 2, 1.
It looks like that at the last second Ben's aim drifted just slightly off towards the nose, and in fact, his shot did not connect. As it turned out, there was no damage to the head. The only damage to the hog was through the shoulder.
I'm gonna go for a headshot.
So here's the view from my rifle.
Shoot ready?
You're ready.
3, 2, 1.
I'm aiming at the vegetation line, high on the shoulder. It's a fully broadside shot. And the bullet did hit high on the shoulder, as seen here with the skin pulled back, with about a finger-sized entry wound going through the scapula and one rib, continuing on to the other side with a small exit wound through the opposite scapula, also having passed through another rib. And here I'm probing the damage to the lungs between the ribs that I can feel with my fingers. Well, the bullet appears to have zipped right through. It killed the hog, but this appears to be due more to shot placement than to actual bullet performance in terms of expansion. This is based upon the fact that the entry side damage to the scapula was larger than the exit side damage to the opposite scapula, indicating that the bullet had not expanded very much. So far, we've recovered 3 of the Barnes bullets, and they seem to be doing fairly well. They are very accurate. They seem to penetrate well. However, the failing in them seems to be that they are not expanding very well, not even expanding to double their size. Based upon conversations with Denny and Ben, this appears to be due to the fact that they're probably designed for something with a little more velocity than what we're getting out of the 6.5 Grendel. Carpe analysis, my friends.